You start prompting questions, and I'm going to see if I can subtly guide us down a certain path. Because I already
Okay.
have, I have an ending point in mind for you for this discussion, but I'm going to see if you arrive there naturally. And
Okay.
we'll see because I want to make sure that I don't control the direction of the conversation, that I simply kind of, like blow the wind into the sails slightly differently to see if you can steer the ship on a course that you're comfortable with.
Okay. I mean, there's so many things I want to know, but I want to know, like, my chart, how does it pertain to me as a person, like my challenges and even what I'm intended to do. Sometimes I think I know what I'm meant to do, but I always doubt myself. And, I want to do so many things because I feel a little bit more confident with my abilities, like with work-wise. But I have ideas, but I never can go forward with them. Like something is blocking me. I don't know what it is. I buy these books, I start them, and I don't finish them. Like I don't know why.
So what do you think that you're here to do?
I think I work well with children. Like that's my job. I teach kids with dyslexia. I've been a teacher for about 15 years, and every year I feel like I'm more passionate about it. And I'm like, I know this is what I'm meant to do because I literally change the way they are, their confidence. And I just feel it in my heart that this is what I'm supposed to do, and I love what I do. I look forward to my job, going to work every day. It wasn't always like that because I always had lack of confidence, of where I'm from and should I be here, like so many things, but I've learned to let that go and just be here for and teach the way I want to teach, forget about what other people think. And that's been working for me. And the feedback that I get from kids and just the way I see their progress, I think this is the direction that I'm supposed to be in. And especially knowing what I know now, like I see my students in a different light, even the most challenging ones. Like I have more self-control and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know why you're doing this. It's okay. I got you. I'm here for you. And it took me a while to get there, but I feel like this is the path I'm supposed to be.
And that's very special, right? That type of intuition is rare and quite special. Like to really see into the child for their essence and to be able to guide them healthily. That's a beautiful thing.
And you see, I feel like sometimes I know my students so well, but I'm like, am I making this up? How do I know this? Like, am I doing the right thing for them? Like, I wish I had, how all these mediums, like they hear Eric and they hear people. I want that. Like, tell me what I'm supposed to teach them. How am I supposed to teach them? I want to hear it because I have my thoughts and ideas, but I don't know if they're right or wrong. I don't know if I'm doing the best thing for them. I don't know.
So how are your students faring? How are your students doing?
I feel like emotionally, I feel like they're in a really good place because of the way I make them feel every day. Like that's my goal. I'm always happy. There's always a lot of good energy in the classroom, and even when they don't do well as far as like academics, I always try to encourage them. Okay, no problem. Let's figure out why you didn't do well. What can we do better? It's okay. School is, you have your ups and downs, but we got to figure out, what we can do better next time. But sometimes the data doesn't produce. So like I get disappointed with myself because like, I know that the emotional part is good, but the proof to show like the parents or my principal, sometimes I wish it could be better, but sometimes it's not because of so many variables, especially this year.
So many variables.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I know that I'm doing the best that I can. So I know that's, it is what it is. It is what it is.
And you love your work. You're bringing that joy into the workspace.
I do. I feel like my whole life revolves around my work because I also, after school, I tutor a lot, for financial reasons, but I also like helping kids. I really, really do, but I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to do because I like other things. I like to dance. I like I like to, I don't know, just, I don't know myself. I'm so confused all the time.
So ask me what you're supposed to do.
What am I supposed to do? What's my calling? What does my chart say? What am I supposed to do? What's, guidance? I don't know.
Before my calls, I generally go into a meditative state. And with the chart, sometimes if the chart's not accurate, it ends up throwing off because I'm trying to locate your higher self, and the chart tells me the entry point for your spiritual energy into this incarnation.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a body that's gestating in the womb of a woman. The moment the child enters into the physical realm, the spirit confirms the commitment to the child. And it's the moment of the child's first breath where the baby cries is the confirmation of spiritual energy entering into the incarnation.
Wow.
In that moment, there's an awful lot of energy that is all around us in various levels and dimensions that soul ends up collecting, that ends up infusing the baby with all sorts of personality traits.
Okay.
And sometimes the child is like their parents. Sometimes they're completely different from their parents. Sometimes siblings are similar. Sometimes it's almost like they're from different planets. Mm-hmm. Because spiritual energy moving through different dimensions at different moments will collect all sorts of different energy. The other thing to mention is that the soul itself, which is the space that the energy is emanating from, is at different points in its incarnation cycle.
Right.
And so I posted a video recently where I try to analogize what they call the densities of consciousness, or the levels that a soul moves through. And I said it's like preschool and like grade school, yes, and like middle school.
Yes.
So
we want to graduate. Right.
Then you have high school, and then you have university, and then you have master's programs.
Yes, I saw that video. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we happen to be in a planet that is desperately trying to move from middle school, which is a third level of consciousness, into the fourth level of consciousness. And there are a whole pile, I say a pile, there's about 1% of the planet that have passed middle school, high school, and university like millions and millions of years ago. And they desire to return to be of service to aid the planet in moving successfully into a positive high school. Okay, that small 1%, they have a very strong call to be of service, to care for others. And in general, they're not here for themselves. They are strictly here to care for the needs of the planet vibrationally, energetically. Right? They're not here to write amazing books and become famous authors. They're here to live through their heart and to support the vibration of all those around them. Right? That beautiful 1%, unfortunately, when they come back into this realm, because there's a very thick veil of forgetting, when we arrive in this realm, there's no memory of where we've come from or why we've chosen to be here.
Yeah.
And so we awaken in the body of a 12-year-old, like a middle school student, not realizing that we're really a master's level student who has simply returned to be of service. Until you wake up, which is the process of reaching consciousness, you're going to, in some way or another, behave and think very much like the other middle school students. Mm. But you're always going to feel different, and the insanity that you witness around you, political insanity, behavioral insanity, the way people treat each other, it's not going to feel right to you.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, I don't get, like, why are people treating each other like this? It seems so primitive, like so brutal.
Yeah.
You won't know why you're different. You're just going to know that you're different. And as your time on this planet grows, as you spend more time, you're going to realize that you're comfortable being different, but that you are quite unique from the consciousness around you.
Yeah, I think I feel that way right now. Like I've never felt like, I've always felt socially awkward. I mean, I'm friendly, I'm nice, I could have a conversation, but like, I feel like I never could belong, you know? Like at school, there's a young group of teachers, and I don't know, I just can never connect with them. I don't know, it's weird. I don't have that many friends, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, well, that's just it. You're not in conflict with anybody. You're not being ostracized. You're just not connecting with them.
Yeah. I mean, I like them.
Yeah, you're cordial, you're polite, you get along, people think nice, kind things of you. You just don't
Right,
have, it would be the same as if a 25 or 30-year-old is trying to connect with a 12-year-old.
right. Yeah, sometimes that's exactly how I feel. Like,
And that's just the analogy I use because it's easier than going into the dissertation on densities of consciousness. It's just a
yeah.
way of framing the discussion.
Right.
But metaphorically, that's the same basic concept, is that you have your human mind, which is your intellectual mind, like your IQ, and you can measure things of the IQ. And then you have qualities in your being that can't be measured. And those are like your intuition, your judgment, the way you love, the feelings that guide you, the things that you know are unique to you, and you can't put your finger on why they're different from others.
Mhm.
And that intuition, that knowing, that call, it's actually a call to the divine or a call to your mission. That knowing is what separates you from the consciousness around you.
How do you know it's like the right, like the right thing though? You know, like I always doubt myself. Like I always, I don't know how to explain it. Like sometimes I do things and I don't know why I do things. Like even my lessons, I completely change them. But then at the end, like a couple of days, I'm like, oh my gosh, everything just this is why you did that. But I don't even know why I chose that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it works out.
It works out. But I do things sometimes and I just don't know why, but it just works out. Is
So
that intuition?
of course it's intuition. It's the knowing.
Like I wish I knew I had a more concrete way of knowing, okay, this is your intuition. Like someone telling me, you know?
So somebody is telling you, you haven't mastered the human mind yet to realize when it's the human mind, the chatterbox of the human mind versus the knowing that's moving through you from spirit.
That's what I'm trying to learn. Like even how my body feels, like anything, any connection, so I can validate that. But it's so hard.
Well, that's where you are in your journey right now, is to master the human mind. The challenge that you have is to it's very hard for an Aries. You have your intellect in Pisces, that will actually help. But the journey that you have now is to find enough stillness in your human mind so that it quiets down. It's almost like, think of the rough waves on the sea. You want it to be completely smooth. You want there to be no disturbances on the surface of the water. And so
How do I do that?
most people use meditation as the methodology to properly quiet their mind.
I'm trying slowly to do that.
Meditation when you have no obligations. There's nothing afterwards. There's nothing before. You're in a totally calm, still space, and then go ahead and drop into your meditation.
Is it okay to do that at night then?
It doesn't matter the time of day or evening. Some people find routines are helpful, so they get structured with their meditation. You just have to do it. If you're doing it at night, you can't be anxious about what time it is and you have to get to bed. If you're doing it during the day, you can't be anxious of obligations or things you have to get done. You can't allow any low vibrational energy like anxiety, obligations, of stress, and so on and so forth to interfere with your efforts to quiet the human mind.
That makes so much sense. Because I try doing it in the morning, but I'm always trying to hurry up because I'm going to be late for work or the kids.
And all the things that you have to do during the day and the traffic and and that doesn't let the human mind quiet.
Okay.
And so find a meditation. You'll know you've reached a good point when you drop into a meditation and there's complete stillness and there's no thought. You can sit fully and completely patiently. It might only go on for 5 or 10 seconds, and then you'll have a thought and you'll let the thought, like a cloud in the sky, you'll let it pass by, and then you'll go back into a state of stillness and you'll wait as long as you can without a thought. And then when a thought arises, you're observing the thought, and then you let it go by and you quiet again. You get into that practice where you're continuously allowing your human mind to reach a point of complete and utter stillness. And if you do that for a while, when you are awake and conscious and hanging out with people, you'll be able to see when your human mind is chattering and having thoughts and ideas, and when intuition is bringing in knowing from spirit.
That is awesome. Okay. That's cool.
And so, by virtue of you being a master's level student, right? So being, as the law of one would term it, you being a wanderer who has wandered back to be of service, Your reason for being actually is to awaken, is to reach full consciousness.
That's my purpose. That's what I'm here to do.
That's the step where you are now.
Okay. Okay.
Because with full consciousness, your vibration, your spiritual energy, think of it like gas in the gas tank. So if you're unconscious, your gas tank is hovering around like an eighth or a quarter of a tank. If you're a middle school student, your gas tank is always around empty. If you're a wanderer, your gas tank can be between empty and like a quarter of a tank. If you reach full awakening, your gas tank can go all the way up to full.
Okay.
And your ability to go far with your mission becomes realized. So you have a mission. You have a reason for being here.
And that's to be fully awakened?
No, the awakening is what allows you to see what your mission is.
Oh, okay. Do you know what it is?
Even if I did know what it was, I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Not at this stage, because I can't infringe on your free will and I can't bring you too far ahead for where you are.
Okay. So if I practice that meditation, that would lead me into knowing what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah, so this is where it gets more interesting. So when you have more mastery of your human mind and you properly quiet the human mind, then you can start asking, so your intuition will grow stronger. It will allow for spirit to come through. Your meditations might get very long because it'll start to bring in more spiritual energy, which will actually raise your vibration, and it will become, it's almost like the balance between human and spirit starts to go the other way and spirit starts to get more dominant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's when the fun begins.
Can I ask you something? So this is all neat. About 2 years, it's all started happening. But before that, I was always very scared of spirit, ghost, the unknown, right? So one time I reached out to someone and they taught me a lot of things, but I think they took advantage of me because they asked for a lot of money and to get these crystals. But for some reason, I paid it, not knowing, but that kind of helped me not have so much fear.
Yeah.
But one thing I started like just learning through YouTube is to do automatic writing. And I don't know if I'm doing it right, but sometimes, I stopped because again, I was scared, but some things were like very strange, like in a good way, but I don't know. Is that okay?
Tell me. So I'm going to give you the litmus test for how you know, but go ahead. So tell me what you're experiencing in the automatic writing.
So this was like when I first learned, I didn't even know anything about protecting yourself. I just did it because it said something about doing automatic writing. And I'm like, okay. And then my hand really started moving. And
so you're sitting quietly, you have a pencil in your hand, your eyes are closed, and then the pencil starts to move on the page.
Yes, yes, correct. And then it started saying definitely things that were a little bit weird, not in a bad way.
Give me some examples.
Like it just says, I asked a question. I'm like, what's my mission? And it said humanity work. And I never used the word humanity. And then it used my job's name, and it said my job's name is what's the word? Is royalty or something like that. So little things like that. And then I started writing books and books of just messages, but it was good messages. But then when I told the lady that, was helping me, that took advantage, she's like, no, that's evil, stop it. And then I got so scared, and I stopped it right away. But it was like some good messages, some not that great, but overall good messages.
And so so everything carries it. This is the litmus test. So everything is energetic based, and it carries a vibration. Okay. We have high vibrations and low vibrations. We have the positive and the negative. Whatever you're experiencing, you have to ask yourself, what kind of energy is it emanating?
Right. I've done that. And it was good.
Yeah. So if you're doing automatic writing, right, and you feel good while you're doing it, and the messages are positive, loving, and supportive, then allow that to carry you forward.
Okay.
If you speak to somebody and they're trying to get money out of you, and they're otherwise creating fear and or some type of angst and like anxiety, then it's a low vibrational energy. It's carrying you backwards.
Yeah. I stopped that lady because she was making me feel uncomfortable.
So then you know, that's your great indication. Your intuition is coursing through you all the time. So that energy of discomfort is an indication of misalignment. It's saying, don't go down that path.
Okay.
It's how the divine actually will keep you aligned with your purpose, will continue to give you the energy or the vibrations that will either guide you forward or give you an indication that something's trying to call you backwards. Like, really you'll be able to gauge. This is a great example, right? So, and no offense, right? When you get off the phone with me, you'll be able to say either that was a positive call and I feel good, or that didn't really work for me and I don't, right? You'll be able to gauge the interaction. I won't be offended regardless of what you experience. You'll be able to gauge the interaction on our call. And you'll know whether I'm a help or whether I'm a hindrance just by how you feel. You'll only have to ask, how do I feel? Yeah.
And trust it. Because sometimes I doubt it. I like
the doubt is usually the human mind.
Right.
And that's okay. That's all okay. It's your human mind that's probably been hurt. There might be some trauma, there's some vulnerability. And so the human mind is geared towards protection.
Right.
So one of the easiest ways that it protects is to say no or to create doubt.
Right.
And so some of the healing that you may need to do is to, and I can give you some techniques around this, is to ask for trauma release or to ask for healing to alleviate some of the heaviness that you've experienced in this incarnation or past incarnations that may be instilling doubt in your journey.
Okay. Can I ask a question? Does that relate? Because I suffer from a lot of back pain. Could that be all related? Because they say emotions.
There's no diagnosis for your back pain. Right? Like there's no structural damage to you.
I've heard so many things already. Like herniated discs, so many things.
I asked in meditation, and it's been with you for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe humbly, I don't have all the answers. I can just tell you what comes through me. But I believe that the back pain is energetic based. It's not actually like a structural issue. Okay. And I believe that it too can find energetic based healing, which is that with alignment and the request of the divine, that the back pain can be alleviated.
Yeah, I'm always trying to figure out why. I mean, I have an idea, but I don't know. But I've suffered my whole life with back pain. And now I realize it's all emotional, but I don't know how to fix it. I've done the Ho'oponopono. I've tried.
Yeah, the Ho'oponopono.
Yeah, that I can never pronounce it.
Nobody can. And if you can't pronounce it, you can't spell it. But nobody.
There you go. Right.
That's the Hawaiian forgiveness prayer.
Right.
I'll tell you, and I'll make a request for you at some point in my next meditation to see if you can make the request also, and I'll try to support it with a request on my end to see if we can bring forth either the clarity, so the knowing of what's causing the back pain, or just an outright request to have it healed.
Oh, that would be amazing.
We'll see what comes through. It's humbly, we just make the request and then we wait to see what the divine intention is around it.
Okay.
But my sense is quite strongly, a lot of the wanderers, a lot of those that are of spirit, they deliberately come back with either emotional and or physical problems to try to disengage them a little bit from the human body and the human mind. It's kind of ironic, but if you feel great, if you feel vulnerable within the physical body or you have traumas, it helps you start to create separation between spirit and the physical body.
And that's the intention that they want?
It's almost always built into the incarnation in some way or another.
Wow.
You're not here for you. You're here to awaken and to serve others. And so whatever mechanism can be used to help you disengage from the physical Anna that you know, those tools are going to be invoked.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that I always want to try to help people, like no matter what, like I always put them first, even before myself.
And you feel good doing it.
I do feel good, but sometimes I don't know if people take advantage of me or.
And they probably do take advantage of you.
Yes.
And you know what? Even when they take advantage of you, you probably still feel good doing it.
Yes. And my husband always yells at me. He's like, Anna, don't do that. You're going to be taken advantage of.
Most of the time it's okay.
Like even when I have to tell, like, let's say I have a lady that comes to help me clean the house, I feel uncomfortable telling her what I want because I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's it. I get anxiety over that. Like my husband tells me, please tell her this, this, and that, but I don't want to because I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable. Is that normal?
And my guess is that you don't want in any way to create an air of superiority.
That too, yeah. Like all of that. I want them just to do the best they can, and I appreciate anything they do. But even if something bothers me, I don't feel comfortable telling them. If I do, it's like I get such anxiety and I feel bad, and I have to always try to make up for it in another way.
So do you believe that it's because you're avoiding confrontation, or do you believe it's some insecurity that doesn't allow you to communicate how you're feeling?
Maybe both. I think both. It's a combination of both. I don't like conflict for sure.
Yeah.
I don't like people feeling uncomfortable.
Okay, so the technique, there's many techniques to move through this challenge. It's not an uncommon challenge. So the first thing that you can ask yourself when you have a thought or a feeling and you want to express it, you simply have to ask yourself if it's true, if what you're about to share is truthful.
Okay.
Because the vibration of truth is very high and it's beneficial for everybody. Okay. So instead of worrying about, oh my God, what are they going to think? How are they going to receive it? Is it going to hurt them? You can start by asking, is what I'm about to share truthful?
Okay.
And if the answer is yes, then you can, within reason, you can always share it.
Okay. But what if they like get insulted and
it's okay.
React to it?
It's okay, because they're reacting to something that's truthful, which means that it's going to be a growth opportunity for them to help them move forward.
Okay.
And you're serving a value in helping illuminate for them some imbalance that's manifesting as a vibration of anger or contempt or whatever they respond to the truth with.
Right.
So if you have a cleaning lady and she consistently breaks something or whatever it is, and you bring it to her attention, you're like, hey, Maria, I noticed that you break the glassware when you put away the dishes. And she's like, who are you, Missy?
Right. Yes.
You know, if what you're communicating is truthful, which is, hey, can you be more careful with the glassware? I noticed that you have a tendency to chip or break the dishes, right? It's a fair request and it's truthful. And if she responds badly to it, then there's work that she'll end up moving through, and you're not responsible for what she's experiencing.
Okay.
Your responsibility is to simply communicate truth.
Wow, that's awesome how you said it, because I always worry that because of what I said to them, it affected them in so many ways, you know. But at the end of the day, you're right. I have to be honest and truthful. And
if the way you're affecting them is to bring to their awareness an imbalance that they're struggling with, it's actually helping them on their own incarnation.
But some people are not even most knowing that.
Yeah, most people won't be doing the work, but that's okay. It's okay, because then you're alleviated of any guilt or any type of low vibrational concern. You're just emanating truth. You can even say it with love and compassion. You know, like, hey, Maria, I know you're really working really hard. I just want to bring to your attention that some of the dishes keep getting chipped.
Right.
And it's both compassionate, understanding, and truthful.
It's like, I feel like I could do that with my work, with my students, with the parents, the truth, but with outside people, I can't. It's so hard for me. Okay. I don't know why.
So then you can do the self-evaluation. Like, why am I having such trouble being truthful outside of the classroom?
Yeah, I don't know. That's so interesting. But the way you're putting it, it makes sense. Like, I'm helping them with whatever they need to work on. And as long as it's truth, and I'm not disrespecting them or being hurtful, I think that's
if you're emanating truth from a high vibrational place of understanding, compassion, patience, then it's never wrong. It's never wrong. I tell you, if the whole world operated from a high vibrational space and only spoke truthfully, we'd live in a very different world.
Why do you think I get that anxiety then? Like, I don't want to do it. Like, I get so nervous. Like,
well, so there's a placement here where you second guess, you second guess your thoughts and ideas. Mm-hmm. Your human mind has the doubt that you spoke of is actually an incarnation energy. And if it has, it's funny, if it has an emotional underpinning or some vulnerability to it, it's particularly acute. Another way of saying it is that if you're not confident or certain of what you're about to share, then you have trouble coming forth with it.
Yes. Yes. That is me. Yes.
So the classroom, you've developed the confidence because you just know now that this is easy for you to be a very good teacher.
Yes.
You haven't yet moved into the space where the confidence extends out into the outer world.
Yes.
Yeah,
wow.
No, it's your intellect is sitting in Pisces in opposition to your moon. It's a challenge. It's just part of the incarnation struggle. It's okay.
So can you tell me more about that intellect thing? Because I always feel superior to especially at work. There's the people that are around me are like very talented teachers. They speak very well.
Yeah.
I feel like I even speaking to you, sometimes I stumble upon my words. I can't express myself clearly. And that, why?
you can't. So I don't. It's hard for me to tell why you brought in this placement. So Mercury, which is the communication, the placement of communication in the zodiac, you happen to have it in detriment. You have it in a weakened place. Your sun sign, which is your identity, is actually an exaltation. It's very strong. Like your own personality is strong, but for whatever reason, your ability to communicate, it lagged behind and it wound up. What's interesting about this though, if you end up, this is very interesting because you're spirit. If you end up accentuating or really activating your spiritual self, then this weakened human space, the weakened intellect and communicator actually becomes an open conduit for spiritual wisdom to flow through you more easily.
Ooh, I just got the chills. Wow, really?
Yeah, because Pisces is the feelings-based sign. It's the most spiritual energy. And so if your intellect is sitting in Pisces, it wants to carry forth a belief or an intuition that allows it to guide it through with its thoughts and feelings.
Wow, that is like what I want to do so badly. Like, I just want to go to people and tell them things that will help them. Like, I would love that.
And that's what this will allow you to do. And actually, you have it there for the way you love is actually exhibiting this energy. The way you wear your heart in your sleeve in the workspace can be comparable to the way you think, where it thinks with a lot of compassion and understanding, and it just brings through that knowing to people. It's available to you if you turn on spirit. You probably already have it more than you realize, but it's just waiting to be fully activated.
So how do I do that? What do I do?
Well, so you can tackle it from a lot of different angles. The most important one is to find yourself with stillness, right? To start really quieting the human mind. Okay. Some people do really well in nature, completely uninterrupted in a natural setting. Some people just need to do it in their home. The next thing that you're going to want to do, depending on what calls to you, a lot of people will try to find literature or some type of examples that have been used to help people see a pathway forward. So various books that have been written, and I've got a lot of them listed on my website. You can just see the list. Some of them will just resonate. They'll just call to you. And as that starts to enliven your mind, it's actually awakening a knowing.
I do that, but then I stop reading the books. I've gone to your library. I've downloaded, I use Audible, but I stop in the middle.
That's okay. So do you feel like you're present while you're listening to those books?
Yeah, I am. But, because my day is very busy, so I usually put it in the car where I can have time to listen to it.
Yeah.
But then things always get in the way, and then I forget, and then I like another book, so I get another book. I start it, I stop it.
So let's start asking. That's the third thing. For you, you just have to start asking. Before you go to bed, you can call it a prayer, or you can just make it as a request. And you can just call through, you can call to your higher self, you can call through to spirit, you can call through to Holy Spirit. Everybody has a different language that they want to use. But you're going to start to ask for the knowing to start to strengthen. You're just going to start asking every day, multiple times a day. Ask.
What's the language for that? Because
You'll use language that's most comfortable for you, but it can be something as simple as I call to the Holy Spirit, or I call to my higher self, and I ask you, come through. Please come through strongly. Enhance my intuition. Allow me to know you better.
Oh, nice.
You know, awaken within me. Spirit, I call to you. I call to you, requesting you awaken within me.
I've been doing that a little bit with my dreams, like before I go to bed, just like if I have a question to see if my dreams can give me some answers. Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't remember, but.
So for the dream space is really good. There's actually, it's almost like a muscle in the brain. There's a part of the human mind that acts as a conduit between spirit and the human self that is active when you're sleeping. And so what you need to do is have a notepad and a pencil right by the bed. And at the moment you wake up, do everything you can to write down whatever you dreamt. Right? It's almost as if you're working out the muscle. Every time you do that each day, it's going to strengthen that part of the brain, and the dreams will become more vivid and you'll have better recollection of them.
But it has to be consistent, right? Because
it helps if you're consistent. It might take a few weeks or a few months, but then you're going to start to have these really very clear prophetic dreams.
That's awesome. I like that.
You have the ability to open up the channel. Right? You have the ability. And you know what? Everything that you do, and I'm just bringing forth suggestions and I'm trying to bring in more intuition. For you, it's really important that it's joyous.
Yeah.
It's nothing here. You don't have to force anything.
No. Yeah. No, I feel like this is all what I want to do. Like, for sure.
So if meditation is working for you, enjoy meditation. If it's not working and you're like, I got to do it. No, it's okay. Like, let it go. You don't have to.
So what's another, because I've tried meditation, I end up falling asleep.
That's actually okay too.
Really?
It's okay too. Whatever is happening, if you feel good when you come out of the nap, then that's okay.
And if meditation doesn't work, what else can I do to quiet my mind?
Well, so some people get into yoga as a mechanism to find greater harmony between mind and body. Right? That one's common. There is quite a few people will do chanting, various types of chanting, because the vibration can be very, very, very helpful to making connection with spirit. Certainly time in nature, to be completely still in nature and to just observe your surroundings and to allow your mind to quiet and to immerse yourself, where you're looking at a blade of grass or watching a leaf blow on a tree. It's really remarkable. The Far East is much better with like Zen gardens, where they're just completely still, immersed in nature for hours on end.
And can you do that with music? Does it matter how you do it? Because I love music, so if that helps me.
It's a matter of whether you need the music, and it's a matter of whether the music is stimulating you or helping the mind quiet. This is all an activity to because so we've got these devices going crazy all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just endless stimulation. We're in the car, we're stimulated. We're at home, we're stimulated. We're always around people that are constantly stimulated. The more stimulation you have, the harder it is to quiet the human mind.
True.
And so if you choose meditation or you choose music and meditation, if the music helps you quiet, then that's great. If the music is keeping you stimulated, then that's a problem. Yeah. And you're an Aries. The Aries energy is always looking for new, exciting things to do. By default, the Aryan energy takes on a lot of projects because it loves initiating things. It loves the new beginning.
Does it carry through with it?
No.
It doesn't, right? That's me.
It doesn't. Most Aries don't. And you have two placements in Aries. Both of them are calling you to with almost like a determination to start something new. Like, I'm so excited. I got to do this. This is it. And then you're like, okay, what's next?
Yeah. Can I fix that? Or is that just going to be my pattern always?
It may be your pattern, but if you move to a high vibrational state, it won't dominate your life.
Oh, okay. So I really have to connect to help me get to that next level.
You have to quiet the human mind, the monkey mind, the hyperstimulated, always. It helps. It's not, some people will get there without quieting the mind. But most everybody I know that has evolved into spirit did it with a lot of effort to properly disengage that mind to allow the spirit to stream through.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's the great challenge that we all have in this density, is that the overactive human mind. And there's a lot of mechanisms that have been put in place that are designed to prevent us, not necessarily well intended, but try and prevent us from reaching consciousness.
Yeah.
And so that's one more thing especially the era that we've incarnated into. There's a lot of distractions.
Yes, that is for sure.
And so it's easy for your mind in particular to be enraptured by the shiny objects, the distractions.
Right. Yeah.
But the intuition is working in the classroom, and it's working in other facets of your life. You can implement a lot of these suggestions. And over time, if you continue to ask for help and support in quieting the mind and feeling spirit come through more strongly, the vibration of the planet will support you, and you'll see all sorts of improvements.
That would be amazing.
And the truth is, you were led to me. Like, my vibration is resonating with you.
Oh my gosh. Like I've written to you. Sometimes I'm sleeping and you would just pop in my head and I would just email you. And that's not even like me, but I'm like, I got to send him a message.
So that's for a reason.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'll share this with you. I believe there is, I think there's six, seven. There's six. I think there's 6 or 7 with what we refer to as archangels. So there are beings. So when I was talking about how you're at a master's level in your spiritual growth, right? You have mind, body, and spirit. The spirit is an eternal energy that goes from one incarnation to the next to the next. And 1% of those spirits have come back and are in physical form. We refer to them as the archangels. And so those archangels, which have been in service to planet Earth for thousands of years, those archangels are the ones that are donating spiritual energy to help the planet now. And so my belief is that you've come back from the Archangel Gabriel.
Gabriel?
I think it's very gentle, Gabriel. And it's helping with the ascension, which is, we'll talk about how the ascension works, but it would make sense. And that's what I got in meditation, that you were part of Archangel Gabriel.
Wow, interesting. When I do the automatic writing, for some reason it says Archangel Metatron. I didn't even know who that was before. And then I started researching more.
Then it could be Metatron.
Because that's how this whole thing started for me. Like one day I was very sick and then I had my phone, and then out of nowhere, this lady that channels Archangel Metatron came through, and that little video changed my whole perception, and my whole journey started from that. But I was always scared, like even channeling Eric, the intro scared me because I don't know, it was weird. So I stopped it for a while, but then I stopped being so scared of everything.
Yeah.
But ghosts and things like that, has always been my biggest fear. Now I'm starting to understanding a little bit better, but still a little the unknown.
It's okay. It's really just a matter of, like, if there is fear present, you can ask, where does this fear come from? What am I fearful of? Like, explore it. Don't reject it. Explore it. What am I really scared of?
Right.
And it could be some cultural qualities where you were raised in a culture or family members thought, oh my God, spirits are bad.
Yes.
Avoid that.
Yes. That I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, and that's not uncommon if you're raised in Central America, or you get a lot of people from the Caribbean. But if that's part of your background, then it's just the human mind that is initiating that fear. And that's okay. It's okay to be respectful of that fear and acknowledge it, but you acknowledge it and then you ask, okay, well, how do I feel when I do automatic writing? And you're like, it's weird because my mind is saying, oh, this is something to be scared of. But when I actually do the automatic writing, I feel really good.
Yeah. Until I think about it. And then I'm like, okay, let me stop because it could be something bad.
Yeah, it's like but then it's once again the human will. I'll ask for you to alleviate. I'll see about alleviating some of that, whatever it is that might be carrying with you, that might be inhibiting your journey further into spirit. So qualities of your human mind that are interfering with the awakening.
Okay.
I'll make a request in one of my meditations, and then you can message me and let me know if you feel anything. I'll try tonight or tomorrow, depending on how I'm feeling.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's just a glorious beginning for you, truthfully. Like you're at the right point in your 40s. It's generally when this sort of thing in the modern era starts to really take hold for those that are going to reach consciousness. Kind of needs to happen by the time you start to get into your 40s. It becomes much harder. Yeah, it's much harder to awaken as you get older.
Oh, okay. And like my husband is not even close. Like he thinks I'm crazy. He thinks he doesn't understand it. I try talking to him, but he just
no. So
not ready.
That same intuition that we were speaking of, right? If his intuition, which is not calling him into exploration, then you respect where he is in his journey and you let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before. Just he's not ready. He's just not his time.
It's not his intention for this incarnation for awakening. Most of the planet, the most profound energetic transformation is underway on the planet, and most of the planet will sleep right through it.
Wow. Are my daughters will they be into this in the future? I mean,
there's a good chance they could be because they're younger and the next level of consciousness is right. I could run their charts at some point and get a sense, but you would know because they would start to show some of the similar qualities that you exhibit, which is they would have compassion and caring. They'd want to take care of little animals. They would generally gravitate to even looking after classmates.
Yes.
So if they're exhibiting those qualities where they're living through their heart, very genuinely living through their heart, there's a good chance that they're following mom's lead.
They are, but my little one, she's just very opinionated. She has a mouth and she's tough. But she has that sweet side, she loves animals. And when she's loving, but when she's not, she's not.
Well, there could be something else going on as well. There could be, there's for everything that we can see and talk about, there's a million other things that we can't see and we have to call in for help to resolve. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a personal example. I had a lot of dental problems over the years, but I had one tooth that got crowned, and for years it was just so painful. And I kept going to dentists, and I kept going and going and going. And the dentist was like, the crown is perfect, the placement is fine. We don't know why you're in so much pain whenever you chew on the right side. And I ended up through prayer and intention, I ended up making the right request, and it turned out. I don't understand it fully, but there was some energetic attack that I was under that was literally interfering with the nerve under that crown tooth.
Oh, wow.
And when I got the prayer right, like that same night I started eating, I'm like, for the first time in years, I'm like, there's no pain.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah, it went from like, from a 0 to 10, it went from a 10 all the way down to like a 1 or a 2. But wow. Like after the prayer, it wasn't like it took weeks and months to heal. I hit the prayer right, and whatever was there, I think it was what they would call an etheric cord. When I figured out what was actually latched on in my tooth, once I made the request to have it removed, the pain disappeared. So
here's my question to you. How do you know that that's even that? Like, how do you know what to ask?
Yeah, that's where.
And how did it get there? Yeah. Like those things is that's what scares me. Those negative attachments.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. So what do you do to protect yourself?
I cleared yours, for example, before we got on the phone.
Oh, really?
Because otherwise they would have come through and they would attack me for talking to you.
What? Like, is that like, that's
real.
That's real?
Oh yeah, that stuff is, this is the stuff where you're like, okay, now I feel like I'm crazy. But this is you've been in like the rainforest, right? You've spent time.
Yeah.
You've ever walked through the rainforest and all you see are like trees everywhere.
Right.
You can hear the birds and you know that there's like a million other creatures all around you.
Yeah.
There's like endless insects and there's certainly bacteria, but there's also like snakes and monkeys and whatever. They're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in the rainforest, you can't see any of them. You just kind of know that they're there.
Okay.
So it's the same thing with, there's a whole ecosystem all around us, a complete ecosystem that are all these other beings, spiritual. Some of them are conscious, they're aware. Some of them are completely unaware. And they're always coming in and out of our aura. They're always influencing our energy.
Wow. How do you not let them come in? How do you protect yourself?
You strengthen your auric body.
How?
Yeah, so through meditation, as spirit gets stronger within you, it'll naturally start to strengthen your aura. As you have these conversations, actually, it strengthens your aura. As you read spiritual literature and you start to integrate some of the wisdom, it can strengthen your aura. As you pray for spirit to come through more strongly, it can strengthen your aura. That's why you see these yogis that are deep in their spiritual journey and they're just totally zenned out because their aura is so strong that they're fully protected.
Wow.
And the opposite is somebody who has like weird back pain, or if your energy is really variable, where like one day you feel good and the next day you don't, and you go all over. It's because the energy around you is penetrating your auric body.
And is there a way to clear it?
Yeah,
they say is sage something, but no, not so much.
You can call, I don't know, I thought it was Gabriel. It could have been Metatron, but you can call to your higher self, or you can call to the Holy Spirit, or you can call to Archangel Metatron, whoever it is. You can actually call to you to clear all low energy, negative energy, or entities, whatever language you want to use. Unfortunately, this is a much, much bigger conversation. Yeah. I actually am not, it's bizarre. I have to be more courageous to post a video about this online to really help people, because right now the vibration of the planet is quite low and it's a lot of fear-based energy. And that is a breeding ground for a lot of these entities that are causing a lot of harm.
Wow.
And so if you exist in fear, you're particularly vulnerable to a lot of these attacks.
Yeah, that's what I've learned. Right.
The lower your vibration, you'll attract them regardless, but the lower your vibration, usually the more susceptible you are to this energy.
So as long, you call for help and just try to be in high vibration.
Yeah, I know. There's so much more to it, darling. There's so much.
You have to make a video to help us.
I know, but this starts getting into he's crazy. This pushes all the way out into, because there are some beings that are actually beautiful, gentle beings that are here specifically to help us at this time. And so you can call to those beings and they'll assist. Like this etheric chord, I call to the Arcturians, are the beings.
Wow. Yeah, I hear these names. I don't know much about it, but
I know. So I learned to call to the Arcturians, and I called to them and I asked them to remove all etheric cords. And then for the first time in years, I was without pain.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
That is awesome. So I know you're running out of time, but I would love to learn how you started, your story, how this all happened to you. I would love for you to make a video like that.
Yeah.
So it'd be so interesting. How do you know all this stuff?
It'll come out at some point, I guess.
Yeah, did it happen to you a long time ago?
No, I've been blessed. I'm incredibly fortunate, and there's a lot of amazing intention that for whatever reason, I've been the beneficial recipient of some most amazing support and guidance.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm entirely in service to the divine. Like I just desire, and so caring for you is a way of exhibiting my service to a greater power, if you will, or a greater being. And I'm being supported so that I can go forth and support others.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's not me. I'm simply a conduit. I'm just I'm a mouthpiece.
So you hear all these messages?
They come through in different ways. They come through in different ways. They come through in different ways. And at some point I'll share, I'm sure I'll gain the confidence to start sharing my journey a little bit more. Up until now, it's kind of like veneers. It's more like a facade, if you will. I haven't gone into the depths of what I've experienced, but that's only because it's not about me. Like it's genuinely not about me. It is entirely and fully my desire to help as many people as I can and to raise the vibration of the planet and to fulfill whatever it is the desire of the infinite creator that has placed me here to be of service.
You're so great about it. Like your whole way of, you're so humble and smart and good. Like I love it. I love you and what you're doing. I watch all your videos.
Thank you. Like it's very kind of you, but truly whatever it is that you're experiencing, it is not, it's me as the vehicle to carry forth a greater intention. So whatever intelligence I have, it has been given to me for this mission. Whatever knowing I have has been given to me for this mission. My capacity to communicate or to empathize, that is all part of the package that was designed to help me go forth and fulfill whatever it is that I'm called to fulfill. And I can tell you, my dear, the same is true for you. And the same reason why you don't want to be critical to your housekeeper is because you, me, your housekeeper, there's not one of us is any better than anyone else. We're truly not. And that would go true for the trees in the yard and the pets that we keep around us. It's all being experienced by the divine with equal joy. We just serve different roles.
Right.
We simply serve different roles at different stages in our incarnations, but without ever being any better or any worse than anyone else.